Before he was in Men in Black, before the Oscars, Will Smith was in deep trouble. In 1989, the IRS came after him for nearly $3 million in back taxes. He was 21 and broke. In his own words, I didn't want to do a sitcom, I just needed to pay my bills. That's from Will's memoir. So how did he land the show? Well, producer Quincy Jones invited Will to a party at his house and pulled a power move. A cold reading in front of NBC execs. No script, no rehearsal, just vibes. Will panicked, but Quincy said, no paralysis through analysis. You've got 10 minutes or they're gone. Smith nailed it. By the next morning, he had a 6-season deal. Janet Hubert, the original Aunt Viv. A force on screen, a powerhouse stage actress, and by season 4, completely gone. No explanation, no farewell episode, just replaced. So, what really happened? Smith claims she was difficult, that she wanted more screen time, that she, quote unquote, brought bad vibes. She wanted the show to be about her. That's Will in a 1993 radio interview. But Janet tells a different story. I was never fired, she told Jet Magazine. They offered me a 10-week contract, take it or leave it. She left it. Why? Because she was dealing with an abusive husband, postpartum depression, and radio silence from the cast. No one asked if I was okay, she said in the 2020 reunion. Behind the scenes, she was isolated. Crew members confirmed Janet didn't joke around like the others. She took acting seriously. Alfonso Ribeiro, Carlton, publicly mocked her. She was crazy, couldn't handle Will being the star. But this wasn't ego, it was survival. Hubert says she tried to speak up about the show turning Aunt Viv into a flat stereotype, and they ignored her. They took her from a college professor to a background cook, she said in 2013. And the cast? They chose sides, and most sided with the star. In season 4, Janet was gone. Enter Daphne Maxwell Reid. NBC made no attempt to explain it, except for a joke.
Sweet of you, Jess. Thank you.
You know, Miss Banks, since you had that baby, there's something different about you.
Fans noticed. Aunt Viv went from a no-nonsense icon to a background mom with a soft tone and fewer lines in the show. Daphne admitted she was warned, don't ask about Janet. She said producers told her, just do your job, don't make waves. Audiences were split. Some liked the new vibe, others missed the fire. For nearly 30 years, Janet Hubert and Will Smith didn't speak. She was left out of reunions, cut from legacy interviews, and labeled difficult, ungrateful, and hard to work with. She wasn't even paid merchandising royalties. Will, as of late of 2016, said, there's no chance of a reunion, she's toxic. Janet, she fired back online. He destroyed a black woman's career, then laughed about it. Meanwhile, the rest of the cast stayed quiet. The media painted her as bitter. No one questioned the narrative. But then, something happened. James Avery, aka Uncle Phil, passed away in 2013, and his death rocked the cast to the core. Even in their silence, they all agreed on one thing. James Avery was the heart of the show. The tragedy cracked the ice. They reunited for private memorials. Tears were shed. And for the first time, the old cast was in the same room again. Alfonso Ribeiro later said, losing James made us realize life's too short for hate. That moment planted the seed, a seed that would grow into something no one expected, a real apology, and a public reckoning. It was the moment no one thought would happen. Will Smith, Janet Hubert, face to face. Unscripted, unfiltered, uncomfortable.
Everything was a threat to me.
Why was I a threat?
Not you, the world. I was so driven by fear and jokes and comedy and all of that.
Yeah, you were live. You were live. You were live.
You know.
But what you didn't realize either, that I was going through a lot at home.
Right.
You didn't know. You
Yep.
guys didn't know. Very abusive marriage.
You know, I have children.
Yeah.
I've been divorced and got a second marriage, and I can see now the level of pain and the level of struggle that it was for you just to show up every day. And then...
But you took all that away from me. With your words. You know, words can kill. But I lost everything. Reputation, everything, everything. And I understand you were able to move forward, but you know those words, calling a Black woman difficult in Hollywood is the kiss of death. It's the kiss of death, and it's hard enough being a dark-skinned Black woman in this business. But I felt it was necessary for us to finally move forward.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry that I have blasted you to pieces.
No, it is so, first of all, thank you for sharing that with me. Like, I didn't know that. When I look back now, it's, you know, it's obvious that you were having a hard time, and I felt like you hated me. I could not do a 30-year celebration of this show and not celebrate you. Celebrate your contribution to this show, celebrate your contribution to my life, you know, and...
Come here, you.
I'm little.
Yeah. Yes.
You still my Aunt Viv. You still my Aunt Viv.
It's so weird. You know, we've said such hateful things about each other publicly. And I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
And I'm sorry, too.
Tears, silence, then forgiveness. It took 3 decades, but they finally healed. Will Smith is now one of the biggest names in Hollywood, but even he admits, the Janet situation is one of my biggest regrets. Janet Hubert has returned to acting. She's been welcomed back slowly by fans in the industry. And The Fresh Prince, it lives on, but now with its full truth exposed. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air wasn't just about Bel-Air, it was about power, silence, and the cost of fame. If you thought you knew the show, now you know the truth.